Hello, this is John from Clock Repairs Merseyside. I'm really after a bit of help really with this clock. I just thought I'd put it on my YouTube channel as a bit of interest anyway, but I'm hoping some of my subscribers who have got it, I know seem to be well up on antique clocks, and they seem to know quite a bit, probably a lot more than I do, on makers and one thing and another. Anyway, getting to it. Picked up this clock today and it looks to be made by either, I think is it Jason Vulliamy or Benjamin Vulliamy. Anyway, Vulliamy are obviously, you know, a good sought after make of clock. Probably, you know, dating probably sort of early 19th century, maybe even sort of later 18th century. From what I've just read, I've got to be honest, I'm not really up on Vulliamy stuff. But anyway, looking at the clock, everything seems to be okay. It's in pretty fair condition, just to be expected for its age. Close the door on the clock. Everything seems fine, even complete with keys. Turn it round to its side. No holes, no extra holes, nothing. Obviously that screw there is where it actually, you know, the movement is screwed. The movement is screwed to that. So that go round to the back. Pretty typical. Nothing to write home about. Here's the pendulum. Missing its suspension spring, which is on the top there. Again, not a major issue, can be sorted out. Then we go to the back of the clock, and pretty typical movement, I would say, for the time. Fusee driven, time only. But then if we go to the, just let it focus in, if it can. We go to the name on the clock. I think by now a few of us will have spotted the deliberate mistake. Right, it says Vulliamy, London. Now there's no number, which on Vulliamy clocks very, very often there is going to be a number. Obviously that will probably indicate the amount that were made or whatever, or their numbering system of something like that. So there's no number. But the big problem I have is the I is missing out the name. Now, I don't know whether this can be a common thing on Vulliamy. I don't know, or it's a thing that's happened with Vulliamy. I don't know. Everything else seems pretty typical. I have seen that backcock arrangements on Vulliamy clocks before. I've actually seen that pendulum on Vulliamy clocks before, but I've never ever really, I've seen the, you know, the name stamped like that, but not with an eye missing out of it. I've seen many other ways if they've done a bit more fanciful and, you know, a bit better sort of inscription, if you like. That's sort of pretty, to me, looks like, you know, it's been sort of more, sort of, you know, stamped, roughly stamped. Also, things I've noticed with Vulliamy, what on some of the clocks, and some of the clocks I've searched through the internet, is, you know, you'd have the letter V, which would be a little bit bigger than all the other letters, more to stand out, but they're all in sort of uppercase, if you like. So I'm sort of very, very suspicious of this clock. It's still a very nice clock. It's still a very nice bracket clock, and, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Fusee driven, there's nothing wrong with it at all. As you can see, it's waggling away. It's got no problems that way. Obviously, the suspension at the top is missing. It would have been sort of like I would have thought like a sort of T-bar effect, if I can get this in shot. I'm gonna find my camera. Where are we? Oh yeah, okay. So that's missing. it would have been a sort of T-bar effect, and it would hook over that back cock there. Yeah. So I have read that Vulliamy actually took movements out of the likes of Tompion and things like that, and put their movements in and stuff like that. I've heard that they've done that, but then obviously, you know, someone to me may have took their movements out and put their movements in, and then crudely, well, it looks okay, but you know, from what I've seen on Vulliamy stuff, it's quite crude and stamped lettering on. I don't really know. I've put the word out to people to find out if there's any. Can anyone shed any light on this for me? I've looked round the clock and really there's no indication of any, you know, any real alterations. I mean, it looks like, you know, the clock was meant to be in that case. I mean, you know, these screws for the securing brackets are in the right place. The key's the right one. You know, everything points out to it being as one, born as one. The dial fits in perfectly. You know, a little bit of loss there at that corner. You know, but you know, nothing to indicate that, you know, it's someone's sort of done anything. But you know, as we know, these clocks have been around for a long time, and you know, there's a few very clever people out there who will obviously go to extreme lengths to fake something. And as I say, I'm at a bit of a loss. I really don't know. The key winding arbor size is typically Vulliamy. So I'm totally at a loss. I'm hoping one of you good people will chime in and put me right, because a person I normally deal with who could possibly help me, unfortunately, he's just lost his wife, and so, you know, I can't really go down that road and have a talk to him at the moment. But again, I'm sure there's someone out there who can sort of help us out with this and see what's going on, and maybe put me right with this clock before I say that it's not what it says on the tin, if you like. It's obviously something else, but to me, I can't find anything. So looking forward to all your comments if possible. Yeah, so have a great evening, and if I don't speak to you before, have a great Christmas. Thank you.